Hi guys, and welcome to our Friday video. Thank you so much for joining us once again. And today we're finishing our videos around fear and anxiety. If I would ask you for a second, how easy do you find trusting someone? How easy do you find letting go of something and trusting somebody else to do it? I love baking. Baking is my all-time favorite things to do in the world. When I'm in the kitchen, I know what I'm doing, I know where things need to go, and I'm pretty sure I know what the outcome will be like. On the other hand, my husband, not so much. One day he decided to make a cake, and I trusted him with that. Deep down, I thought, surely nothing good will come out of this. When he was in the kitchen trying to bake, I was all the time trying to kind of jump in to tell him what to do, how to do it. I was literally not allowing him to do what he needed to do. But in the end, the cake actually tasted all right, and he taught me how to trust him. And now this is a silly example of life, but in the times that we're living now, when there's so much uncertainty around us, when there's so much change, and we are all fearful and worried about our futures, the good thing to think about is, who do you put your trust in? Who do you turn to in those times when you don't know what is happening, when you don't know what the outcome will be like? Who do you go to? And I know for me, for somebody who loves Jesus, who believes in God, I know that I want to put my trust in God. I know that He's the best place to go. If I'm feeling uncertain, if I'm faced with fear, if I don't know what's going to happen, I know that I want to go to Him, because I know no matter what is going around me, no matter what the situation is around me, He's unchanging. He never changes. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And even in the Bible, in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Never rely on what you think you know. Remember the Lord in everything you do, and He will show you the right way." And even in the Bible, it says that we shouldn't be trusting our own understanding. We shouldn't be relying on our own emotions, our own feelings. We should be going to God first. And maybe for you, you can think this week, what does it mean for me to trust God? What does it mean for me to get up every day and just to put my trust in Jesus? Maybe instead of going on social media first, instead of going to news, maybe you can just come before God and say, God, I trust you with today. I trust you with everything that's going to happen. No matter what is happening in my life, I trust you. And maybe when you go to bed every night, you can do the same. I wonder if any of you have ever been in a storm. I've been in a storm, and it was a horrendous experience. We can read in the Bible a story where a storm took place. After Jesus spent a day teaching on the shores of the Sea Galilee, he gathered these disciples, which were kind of like a group of friends for Jesus. They always did everything together. And he said to them, let's go to the boat, let's get into the boat and cross to the other side of the sea. So they all got in the boat, and it was a beautiful sunny day. The weather was gorgeous, everything was fine, they're having a good time. And all of a sudden, a storm came. The waves were crashing against the boat, the water was filling into the boat, the wind was blowing. It was literally a chaos, and it all came from nowhere. And disciples started to panic. The fear suddenly took over. They all thought they're gonna die. I don't know if you've ever been in a storm, and that's sometimes how it might feel, like you're gonna die because everything is literally happening around you and it's crazy. So they looked to see what is Jesus doing at that point, and they saw Jesus fast asleep, and they couldn't believe it. So they tried to kind of wake him up. They were shaking him up and said, God, God, save us, we're all going to die. And Jesus got up. He said to the sea to be still, and immediately the storm stopped. He turned to disciples and said, why are you afraid? Where is your faith? In other words, he said, why you don't trust me? And I think at that moment, fear just took over, and disciples couldn't even remember what did it mean to trust God. They were so focused on that fear, even spending all that time with Jesus, knowing who he was. They still put their trust in Jesus first. They were panicking, they were worried. And I think sometimes in our lives, when we face fearful situations, they can feel like these unexpected storms, like in this story, that just come out of nowhere. But let me tell you one thing, I know that God can meet you in the midst of those storms, in the midst of those fears that you're going through. Trust Jesus, because he is literally right beside you, guys. He can take all those fears away. He can meet you in the midst of those storms because he cares. And when disciples were trying to wake Jesus up, he straight away got up within a second. And when you come to God and let him know how you feel, his full attention is straight away to you, guys. So please remember to put your trust in Jesus. Who else would you rather put your trust in? I know that He's the place I want to go to. And the back of this video, we have an amazing activity for you to do, guys. Perhaps if you've got a Bible at home, just spend the time just going through Bible and finding your favorite verses that are talking about who God is. And maybe you know things in your mind that God's done for you. And I encourage you just to kind of write those things down. Maybe you can underline those things in the Bible, those verses, or maybe you can color something kind of on the sides of the Bible if you have a space. Maybe you can write some things on a sticky note and kind of put them on the walls in your bedroom, in your living room, wherever that would be. Or maybe you can write things in your journal, in your notebook. Or maybe you can call a friend and just encourage a friend with a verse that you've found or with the things that you know that God's done for you. And just remind you, just surround yourself with the things that you know God is, because we can be so surrounded with all the fear and everything that is going around. And perhaps if you don't have a Bible, you can always download a YouVersion app in your phone. There is some amazing devotionals there for you to do. There's loads of devotions for you to do that talks about who God is. They have a couple of Bible verses, little reading, kind of reflection time and a prayer time. But I encourage you guys just to think, what does it mean for you to trust in God? What does it mean for you to put your trust in Jesus? And thank you so much for kind of journeying through with us throughout this week and for watching these videos. And we really hope that they've been encouraging for you guys. So please stay tuned in because we've got some amazing things coming up for you next week. Bye.